he was able to have an interview to talent boost in Finnish.
It's better to speak some basic Finnish to explain yourself, maybe to police at least, just in case maybe some emergency or some other stuff.
When I try to speak, like they ask me, English is better, and I'm just like, yeah, it's better.
I tried to start memorizing vocabulary, and it was complete mistake.
Moi, nimeni on Dilara. Olen talent boostin harjoittelija. Hauska tutustua. And if you could understand me, then it means you're doing really, really great on your Finnish language learning. And today we are starting our new project, Talent Boost Podcasts. I don't know if you can see it. Today's topic would be about Finnish language learning. And today we want to cover our guest's success story of learning Finnish and hear some tips, advices, how he learned it. And I'm going to present our guest today. And he is Daniil, our IB student, who learned Finnish just in 1 year, which is amazing. So I want to hear some applauses. Woohoo!
No niin, okei. Moro kaikille. Nimeni on Daniil. Olen kolmannen vuoden opiskelija Jamkissa. Opiskelen kansainvälistä liiketoimintaa. Toivottavasti valmistaudun Jamkista tosi pian. Siis muutin Suomeen vuonna 2012. Ei, 20. Anteeksi, se oli virhe mun puheessani. Mutta okei, and now in English. So my name is Daniil. I am third year IB student. I moved to Finland in 2020. So it's nice to hear that I'm here. So thank you for the invitation. It's really great to be here.
Thank you for deciding to visit us today. And I'm really, really happy that you are here with us today. And we are ready with our listeners and viewers to hear your story, because I want to know everything from the bottom, how you managed to learn Finnish, because it is difficult, but it's not impossible, I guess.
Well, definitely it was quite a funny way, and it was like 1.5 years. I would like to say that they came too fast from my point of view, and they were I would say they were kind of roller coasters coming from my Finnish language learning. So I would tell you about them a bit later. So yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Yeah. Just quick note, he was able to have an interview to Talent Boost in Finnish. So I'm quite impressed. I think that this is really amazing. Okay, so my first question would be, is it comfortable to speak in English as a foreigner in Finland? What is their level of English in Finland?
Well, that's quite a broad question, I would say. At least from my point of view, in central Finland, it's quite possible to speak English with with Finnish citizens, because I would say like 90% of them speaking like fluent English in stores or maybe in other services or in restaurants. But if you are coming to the other like I would say like sectors of life, for example, in hospital or in other governmental services, for example, in tax authorities or in police, it's better to speak Finnish, definitely. Because if you would like to explain something in English, well, there's quite a high probability that, for example, in healthcare, people are not going to speak English. At least that was like 2 years ago, that was a case. I don't know yet what, maybe something has changed, because like popular English is being popularized quite a lot in central Finland, and companies are getting to recruit more and more English people, more English speaking people. But still, it's better to speak some basic Finnish to explain yourself, maybe to police at least, just in case maybe some emergency or some other stuff. So well, in everyday life, it's possible to speak English definitely with Finnish population.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because when I came actually in 2019, I was impressed that they know English that well. And I came from exchange from Germany recently, and I'm even more impressed that I didn't expect that Finns know English better than in Germany, how I thought it would be. So I agree with you that they know English, but if you want to find job, if you want like to settle down, you definitely need to know Finnish. And today we're gonna get to know that. And my next question for you is, what is your current level of Finnish?
My current level of Finnish, well, that's quite a great question for me. I don't really know about that yet because I didn't pass any specific test about that. But I guess it's on level B1, B2 maybe, because, well, my friends tell me that I speak on a fluent Finnish B2 level, but I'm not yet sure about that because, well, there was a case today. I just came to the janitors today, and I wanted to ask some basic stuff about our room.
Yeah.
And I tried to speak Finnish, but at some point I forgot what I wanted to say. So like sometimes Finnish words just slip out of my head. And that was also a case when I tried to go to the dentist appointment. I also knew what I would like to say. I knew what my problem is, but at some point I completely forgot what I would like to say. So I also I know like 3 languages, and sometimes they like mix up all together. And I try to speak at some point one language, but it came out as a like completely wrecked language with a mix of 3 languages which I speak. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But well, it took me a while to learn Finnish to like B1, B2 level. So I'm currently learning Finnish on B1, B2 level in Gradea. So well, I would say that always trying to develop my Finnish language. So there is no point to stop. I would say that only for Finnish language learners, it can be like a level to infinity. So that's about it.
How do Finnish people react when you talk in Finnish?
That's also a great question because I sometimes I can be too persistent with speaking Finnish with citizens because, well, for example, in stores or also like in some other like interactions, also in like in hospitals or in dentist appointment, I just start speaking Finnish. Sometimes it might be a little bit wrecked, as I already mentioned, and sometimes citizens might be a little bit confused, like how I'm speaking Finnish. But I would say also like maybe the vast majority of people are going to support you, at least from my personal experience, because if you learn Finnish as a foreigner, it's quite a hard language, even like for Finnish citizenship, and they really try to support you. At least when I've been working like in a restaurant, for example, I also been on the cashier stand. I tried to speak Finnish at the start. My Finnish language was not so developed at that point, and I was saying like to the customers, "Hey, I'm sorry because my Finnish language is not like mother tongue, so I'm still learning it." And they tell like, "Hey, let's speak Finnish. You're quite great in that, so let's continue in Finnish, not in English." So that's really great. And also to the point like how many people are speaking English in central Finland. So I would say like really minimum percentage of them are going to switch to English because, for example, also like in some healthcare or other like industries, people need to help you and do it as fast as possible. And the easiest way how to explain yourself is in English, like the most common way how to explain like in English, because like it's the easiest language which you can speak in Finland, I would say.
It's really interesting that you said that minimum percentage would switch to English, because when I try to speak, like they ask me, English is better, and I'm just like, yeah, it's better.
That depends on the person with whom you are talking to, and depends on the mood in which person is. Because like, I would say that I'm lucky that like the vast majority didn't switch to English, I would say. So yeah, I'm kind of lucky, but I try to put an effort to learn Finnish that people try to understand me. So I also try to ease their process to understand me. So that's the point.
Yeah, it's really great when like local people see your efforts that you want to learn their language and they support you fully in that. And I think that in Finland and specifically in YAMK, actually staff puts an effort for that, and they're really great that they're doing that. And when did you start learning that?
I tried to start learning Finnish prior to my arrival, but it was completely horrible idea because I just started to open some Finnish language learning websites in my home country, and I tried to start memorizing vocabulary, and it was complete mistake. you shouldn't do it at any point. You shouldn't try memorizing Finnish. It's going to be a complete waste of time. So at first point, I arrived to Finland. I took Finnish 1 language course and then Finnish 2 language course at YAMK. But unfortunately, it was Corona times, and we had completely like remote way of learning, and it was not so efficient. In from my point of view, I didn't really like it because, well, I preferred to study like language like face to face, like face to face interaction, I would say. And starting from autumn 2021, I tried to put much effort to learn Finnish because, well, I'm like already 1 year in Finland. I don't know like language. Why so? I started to go to Gradia after friend suggestions, and I tried to go to A2 B1 level. Then I took simultaneously Finnish free course at YAMK, and then continued learning till that point. So I'm still learning Finnish. So I would say like I started learning Finnish like 2.5 years ago, like straight after my arrival, but the hard work started like 1.5 years ago.
Wow. I have no words.
Yeah, thank you.
About that, you said you tried to learn by yourself before coming to Finland. I think that many students actually went through that because I'm the one who did that.
Yeah.
Because I just remember when I would like get the letter that I was accepted to YAMK, and I would be so excited, and while I'm waiting for my residence permit, I'm just like, okay, I will be really nice, productive student. And I open YouTube and try to learn alphabets and basic words. And then I just closed it and never opened it again. Yeah, it's really hard to learn by yourself.
That's true. There are quite a lot of confusing moments, like when you're like, I would say it's like a small barrier which you face like throughout the Finnish learning. You need to have quite a bunch of motivation, like, and to come through these like barriers. And it's easier to learn when you are in the community of Finnish language speakers, because it's easier to absorb the language.
How many hours did you spend on learning, like daily? How many hours do you spend?
That's also a great question, because I couldn't manage to do it from the really beginning, like as much hours as I would like to do, because like I had other studies, and it wasn't not possible for my brain to absorb all the Finnish language which I had like at some point. So I started from maybe 1 hour per day, maybe 3 days in a week. So I had like Finnish language classes, like 1.5 hours, plus additional 1 hour 3 times a week, like homework and what I've been doing like by myself, like self-learning. And it grew up like a snowball, I would say. So it was like 1 hour 3 days in a week, and then it was like 1.5 hours 4 days in a week, and then it became like 2 hours 4 days or 5 days in a week, like even on the weekends I started to learn Finnish. So it came like a snowball. I tried to push myself, but not so much, but it came out as like a huge snowball. So it took like me maybe half a year to reach this level, and you couldn't do it like for a long time. So it's not possible. It's like high intensity of the Finnish language learning. So at some point you start thinking in Finnish language. That's a great point, but the mental part is also a considerable point. So,
well, was there any specific strategy in learning? Do you have any system you chose when you were learning?
Well, I didn't have any like particular strategy. I just had the strategy: learn, and learn till the point when I can speak fluently in Finnish. So during our like language speaking courses, also in Gradia, we discussed like in the text, like in some newspapers that we'd been reading some articles, and it was written there that like there are 2 approaches to learn Finnish language or any other language if you are a foreigner. You can start learning till the point you can speak fluently, like I did. So like as much as hard work and like making the basis for the speaking language, so you can like you can serve yourself in the everyday operations, let's say. And the second point is that you start learning by speaking without any basis. So you just throw yourself up into the fire, let's say, and you start speaking with Finns and absorbing like the language peculiarities, let's say, straight to the point of the communication with the natives. It might be quite confusing and nervous point for some people, but I've heard some people who are doing it like that. So they just move and they get a job and they start to learn Finnish straight on the job. So 2 ways might be suitable for different people. So I chose the one where I'm going to have like a lot of confidence. So I feel the confidence when I speak in Finnish because, well, I learned a lot it. So I have some basis about that. And also there's a point about the confidence. You can't speak the foreign language if you don't feel the confidence. So please try to find the way how you can feel confidence in that. And the one way to do it, so you learn till the point you feel like, yeah, it's time to speak, because I'm fed up of learning, because I'm spending like 10 or 15 hours per week of Finnish language learning on the textbooks. Why not to just practice it right now? That might be time, maybe. So there's a point of confidence, and also like the point of Finnish speaking with natives. When they see you speaking Finnish with them, and they say they cheer up you. They like, "Hey, guy, you are great in Finnish language learning. You're really great in that. Even for Finns, it's a complicated language, but still, it's not the point to give up because it's really hard language. Maybe we did like some research. It's like the 6th language, the hardest language in the world. So even for Finns, it's complicated. And I had a lot of feedback from Finns. I've been learning Finnish with Finns, like with natives, and they told, yeah, that's really complicated from the point of grammar. Really, that's really the point.
Did working in a restaurant help you to boost your Finnish language?
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I worked in a restaurant maybe 4 months, starting from the August till November, and that was a blast experience in Finnish language learning, because I couldn't speak a lot on the Finnish language. Well, I learned a lot, but still there was a point when I'm going to practice. And my friend kindly suggested me on the position in the Finnish restaurant in the cashier stand, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And thanks to my employer, who was he's Argentinian actually.
Yeah.
He gave me quite a lot of motivation and support in Finnish language learning, because like, yeah, let's go. Just go on a cashier stand and like just serve the customers as much in the most friendly way as you can do. Like, and customers were quite friendly with that. I was saying like, hey, I'm not speaking Finnish quite well yet because I'm still learning it, and they like, hey, yeah, you're doing great. That's really great. Yeah, so, and when you speak Finnish maybe 4 times a day for 4 hours at least during the shifts, it's already boosting your language quite a lot. It's about the consistency, how much hours per day you dedicate to the Finnish language. And even like you speak not the best language from the point of grammar in your speaking language, that's also a great practice. You develop yourself, you develop how you can absorb the Finnish language from the natives, how like the listening skills are also essential part. Because in the central Finland, there's quite a bunch of dialects. Not specifically in central Finland, but in other parts of Finland, there's quite a bunch of the dialects, which you may not understand if you do not live in this specific area. But some of them, maybe for example, like shortenings of the words. People are always shortening the words in Finnish, so you need to have a great listening skills to understand what they're speaking of. And actually, that helped me a lot to improve myself in the speaking language and like spoken interaction in real life.
When you were working in a restaurant, was there any specific topic related Finnish you learned? Like, you worked in a restaurant, so you mostly learned like service, customer service sentences and so on?
Yeah, I would say there was quite a basic customer service language, like, hey, what do you like to do? How can I help you? Like, may I give you something else? Like, maybe something more. Maybe, like, for example, I've been working in a wok restaurant. Like, we've been cooking woks. So they were like, how would you like to add this? Maybe add chili spices or something. Would you like to add something more, like, or some additional toppings? Or I would suggest you this, and that, because like this is quite a blast. Maybe like it's quite popular these days. It's in trend. So quite the basic stuff, but it took me a while also to absorb myself in there. And there was also, I would like to tell you a little story like about working in a restaurant, because you also need to get the calls from the customers by phone.
Yeah.
And when the first time I received the call, it was complete cringe, because I started to answer the questions, and there was the phone was a little bit not too loud, and I couldn't hear quite a lot the customer. And it was like a broken phone. I tried to understand what customers. Well, I completely understood what customer said.
Yeah.
But I was answering like, kyllä, yeah. Joo, mä ymmärrän, joo. Joo, okay. Joo. It was the only one interaction which I could perform at that point. But at the end, I could fluently speak with customer in Finnish, like on a call.
Hey.
Yeah, it was
Achievement.
Yeah, that's really an achievement for myself, and it's really nervous point at some point because speaking in real life, it's a little bit different when you can't see the person in whom you're speaking to.
Yeah. I think I would be stressing out. I can't imagine that situation for myself, but that's really nice to hear. And I think my last question would be for now, what is your current expectation from yourself about Finnish language? Do you want to develop your skills in specific field, like in business Finnish, or I don't know, like basic just daily life conversations or something else? Do you have any specific preference in what you want to focus on?
Well, I focus on finance and studying finance related financial analysis or statistics or other related things in that field, also in international business. And I hope that I'm going to learn like specific language to this field because there's quite a lot of it which is quite related to the finance. And I've been I tried to read some articles related to the economy and finance related things in Finnish language, like some Finnish language journals. But at some point, it's still a little bit complicated because quite a lot of vocabulary is quite precise, and you just need to learn it. And also a point: don't try to learn by memorizing Finnish and like vocabulary. You need to learn it from reading some, I don't know, textbooks or like some basic texts, articles, whatever. Don't try to memorize it. It's the worst experience which you can experience, really, because you're not going to you're going to memorize it for a while, maybe week, 2 weeks, month maximum, but you're not going to memorize it through the just memorizing. It's not going to work, believe me. You need to have some associations to remember something.
Yeah. The thing how I think learned basic words like vegetables, fruits, I was just going to the grocery store in co-market, and when it's your first time, you don't know how you say, like, I don't know, apple or so on. And I remember like my first year, I spent hours in the groceries, not because I had a big list of things to buy, but because I needed to translate. I would take my phone and I would translate each ingredient, trying to understand what is it. And the more I went shopping, the more I actually already memorized what this word means and that word means. So really, like, reading even one text every time will help you to memorize that quite a lot. And what kind of tips can you recommend, or books that we can mention for our followers?
As I mentioned earlier, like I would say, the more you learn, the better you have like Finnish language skills. Because the more time you dedicate to it, I would say that like you shouldn't start like from 1 hour per week or like per day. Maybe it's going to be enough, like half an hour per day, 3 days in a week. Why not? You should start from something. Why not? You can push yourself like step by step, not throw yourself in the fire like I did from my personal experience. But you can start from something and then increase the time which you learn like per day, and then how much times per week you do it. And also like if you're doing some simultaneous courses, for example, I did courses simultaneously in Gradi and at Young, so it's like double absorbing of the Finnish language. So you all the time you're speaking Finnish. So like the more you speak, the better you speak. So that's the rule of thumb. It might be easier, but it might be easier like sounding, but at some point you need to understand it. Secondly, I also told you, like, don't try to memorize. You need to have some associations with texts, and it's better to go from specific courses like on the textbooks, because you have some schedule, you have some plan about the Finnish language learning, like vocabulary, and don't try to learn only grammar. You need to speak somehow also. You need to have also vocabulary. So try to be balanced in that. Also, you can check out some social medias in Instagram. Also, like maybe some comedians who I guess are going to be some popping out some the Instagram accounts, which I'm going to suggest a little bit later. Also, you can try to read some news in Finnish by Yle, for example. Why not? There's also Yle Saukosuomeksi, which means that you can read Finnish news in like easy language. Yeah, which is really easy. I also tried at some point to learn it, and it really helped me. Really. Also about the Saukosuomeksi, that means like simple Finnish. You can start learning by reading books for children, like in Saukosuomeksi. I read like 3 of them so far, and also like it absorbs language a lot. You learn like quite a lot of vocabulary from it, and like also some interactions you can get from the books.
Yeah, for me, I think it just like you should not limit yourself when you're learning some foreign language only in a university or in specific language school. Don't just learn it inside of the university, but try to integrify that language in your hobbies. For example, I like singing, so learning language via music really helps, I think, as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like it might be a little bit confusing, but Finnish language learning by listening to Finnish rap. At some point, you don't understand anything what they say, but maybe like after 1 year of learning, I tried to understand. I started to understand what they're speaking about, because they use a lot of shortenings in their words and quite a lot of slang, I would say. But it takes a while to understand, but like it's also improving your listening skills. Yeah, that work. And also like from the point of the hobby, I would say I'm interested in rallying and motorsports, and I started to follow in like Finnish rally started Kalle Rauhanperä in Instagram, and he always like put some stories in Finnish, and I also like some absorbing on the Finnish language on an everyday basis.
Yeah. Just learn by heart, I think.
Well, you should have some motivation, like otherwise if you don't have like at what point why you're going to do it. So but the main motivation, I would say, that you're going to get a better job.
I think that's really motivating.
It's really a point, like you're going to get a job in the office if you know like some basics. Yeah. At least some learning is at least like A2 B1 level. I'm not like saying for sure like about all of the employers who are like recruiting in Finnish, but you need to know language at some point to be working in the office, because you need to communicate with colleagues also in Finnish.
Yeah. I think that is it. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. I think I learned quite a lot. I see that you put, I think, extra effort in learning, because when I look at myself, I realize that I might be not working that hard, but now I understand that now you have a really excellent result in your language skills, and it's because you actually put really, really good effort and work really hard. So good job in learning Finnish. I think I will start practicing it with you, because I'm gonna have my Finnish language course tomorrow. So
I'm really pleased. Thank you for your comments, and really thank you for cheering up. And at some point, let's learn together. Why not? It's really it's really great.
Yes,
yeah.
I think guys, if you have a neighbor, just come and say like, let's learn together. Just
They're
go
not too
to
shy about that. So
just go to
try to approach
anyone.
something like not too persistent as I do like in everyday Finnish, like in the shop. So try to do step by step, something like that.
Yeah. And I think my last words would be, you're doing really great in learning Finnish. These small steps, what I mean by small steps is learning in university, trying to order coffee in Finnish, or trying to talk to your neighbor. All of that is just an effort, and it is an effort that you're putting. So you will be achieving quite good results. I believe in you, and I'm proud of you. Please leave a comments about our podcasts. And if you have any other topics you want me to cover with our future guests, please tell us. And we'll be sharing the tips that Daniil shared with us, any books, Yle newspapers in the information below under the video. And don't forget to follow Talentbu social media, please. And also I want to say that we have Finnish language workshops where you have people to practice with. We have a really nice Finnish teacher who you can practice your speaking with, and please do.
And
it's
not
really
only
fun.
Finnish, also you can like have some personal consultations with Heidi about the practical training job.
Yeah.
If you're studying practical training in Finnish, you can ask definitely her quite a bunch of the questions related to your specific field and how you should integrate into your practical training. So please feel free to do it. I've been to the Finnish language workshops and they really work.
Yeah, they really do work. Thank you, guys. Please, if you want to hear more, follow us and watch the next podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye.
the invitation. See you guys.